Gang activity is present in many different parts of Canada, but one of the cities with the most activity is in our own backyard, Toronto. Toronto gang violence has been around for decades. The Toronto police have done a good job of being alerted to the gang activity, making more arrests each year. Although police have been monitoring the heart of Toronto, gangs have been going to the outskirts, such as Mississauga, Brampton, Vaughan, and Pickering. All of the police forces in the area, like Peel Region, Halton, Durham, York, and Hamilton, have been all working in conjunction to keep the gang violence down. With gang violence, all crime rate goes up, such as attempted murder, drug trafficking, firearms offenses, and even participation in criminal organization charges. The major problem and concern of gang activity for the police and the community is the safety of the city. One of the more recent tragic incidents Toronto has faced was at the Eaton Centre. 24-year-old Aham Hassan was shot, as well as 13 others were injured and 2 were left in critical condition. Aham Hassan did have gang affiliation, and in result, he was killed and others were hurt. This reminded the city of Jane Searborough, who was also killed by gunshot downtown Toronto on Boxing Day. Just as an innocent bystanders were at the Eaton Centre, Jane Searborough was also an innocent girl who became a casualty of gang violence. Gang violence does not just hurt the gang's target, it hurts everyone else around them.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll take you back to the vigil that will soon start in just a moment. But first, the intense manhunt for the person responsible for the chaos at the Eaton Centre last night when he opened fire in the crowded mall. Jackson Prosco begins our team coverage tonight with the latest on that investigation. Jackson.
Well, good evening, Carolyn. Investigators are playing their cards fairly close to their hand, although they do say they have a suspect identified. Tonight, it's a much calmer scene outside the Eaton Centre, but there is a small memorial here growing outside the front doors, along with a board of messages of condolences. One of them reads, "My heart bleeds for all the victims of this senseless act. God bless you all. Toronto is a safe place. Don't let one bad apple spoil the bunch." A message echoed by authorities today.
Eaton Centre, some gunshots. Head back, head back.
Amateur video captured the chaos in the moments after the shooting.
Get down! Everybody get down!
Victims can be seen lying on the ground as thousands try to escape the Eaton Centre. The chaos spilled onto the street as victims were taken away by paramedics.
And all of a sudden, this guy literally comes up with a gun and starts firing bullets. I did see somebody get shot right near the heart.
I think there was someone helping him out and they was trying to keep him awake because it looked like he was going to die.
By Sunday morning, investigators had removed the body of 24-year-old Ahmed Hassan, the only fatality and apparent target of the shooting.
One idiot with a gun on a Saturday afternoon in downtown Toronto does not speak to the state of affairs of the city of Toronto.
Police now say they have a clear picture of the suspect in this case, but won't release further details. They're looking into gang connections as a possible motive.
We do believe that our deceased in this case may have had some gang affiliation.
That's little comfort for the innocent bystanders injured and traumatized by the shooting. A 13-year-old boy and a 23-year-old man are both in critical condition among the half a dozen people hit by gunfire.
It makes you realize how big your luck is if you get out of here alive.
Will and Inga Jong were just meters from the shooter. They described jumping on top of their 3-year-old and 7-month-old daughters to protect them as the gunshots rang out. Their 3-year-old daughter witnessed the horror firsthand.
She said later that fireworks belong in the sky but not in people. So she might have seen something, but it's hard to get out of her.
One key tool investigators will rely on is the sheer number of security cameras both inside and outside the Eaton Centre. It's hoped they caught a glimpse of the suspect as he fled. Throughout the day, the Eaton Centre remained sealed off as forensic investigators continued their work inside, the entire mall now a crime scene. With the massive police response, investigators can only offer assurances that they will soon make an arrest. That alone may not be enough to restore the confidence of a city shaken to its core.
I can assure people that this is the safest city in the world, and I want people to continue on living their lives like they do every day. Go downtown, enjoy themselves, go out with their family, and continue doing what they do.
And this is the scene that has played out here outside the Eaton Centre throughout the day. Ordinary Torontonians coming to see the scene of yesterday's tragedy for themselves. We're now hearing that the mall itself will reopen to business tomorrow. However, the food court likely to remain closed until at least Tuesday. The other thing police have to sort out is how to get all those personal belongings that were left inside the mall, particularly in the food court. We're talking purses and keys and phones that were dropped in the chaos. How to get those back to the people who left them there. Details of that will be announced tomorrow.
No matter what, police are never going to be able to completely get rid of gang violence, but prevention and de-escalation are what they're striving for. There are different programs that the police in the City of Toronto have created to bring down violence, such as BTC. BTC's goal is to help persons at risk stay away from gangs, and those who are in gangs get out of gangs. I believe that programs like this are a very good way to help contribute to the decreasing of violence in the city. In order to solve this problem, I believe that gang violence needs to be stopped right at the source. Youth are the most vulnerable to be affiliated with a gang, as they are young and impressionable and think a gang is a place to fit in. The stigma of a gang sticking together and being family encourages misplaced youth and teens to join who have come from a hard upbringing. Youth need to be educated about gang violence and its overall effect at a young age. I think that incorporating awareness into the education system would help decrease this violence. The basic things we learn at school, how to read, how to write, and socialize, are things we almost never forget. I believe that to be able to identify a dangerous group is another key survival skill in today's society.